Welcome to this week's special quote-unquote live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and yes, whilst this is being broadcast live, we're not actually live doing this one. This is a pre-recorded segment. Just wanted to keep the routine alive as we move through the rest of the year. What's happening at the moment is I'm on break, going to Melbourne to see family and that at the moment, so I'm enjoying some quiet time. So whilst we're doing this sort of having a week off, I figured let's give you something that unless you're a diehard Patreon supporter, you've never seen before. A couple of years ago now, Dave and myself sat down and went through the entire Aerosmith studio album discography and reviewed one after the other. So tonight I'm going to give you about an hour's worth of that. It's a snippet of each of the three sessions we did with three different albums, three very popular albums. I'm going to let you watch and find out what they are, just to be a bit annoying there. But the point of this is that it's almost like a teaser, because over the Christmas break, I'm going to revisit some of these older stuff that we've done that hasn't been released yet, and this is one of those ones that I'm going to be releasing as part of the live stream format, quote-unquote live stream, you know what I mean, on the Thursday nights that we're going to be on break, but at least you're still going to be getting something you haven't seen before. Or if you are a diehard Patreon, you haven't seen this for at least a couple of years, so something to get out there and do it. So Dave and myself, like I was saying, went through the Aerosmith studio album discography. Tonight, I've got three select cuts for you, three very popular albums as far as I can ascertain. Let me know if I'm right or wrong in the comments. We'll monitor things as we go along, but obviously we're not here live, so we're not going to be responding to things in kind, but feel free to give us your thoughts as always, and hopefully you enjoy something you haven't seen before, or if you have, you're one of the lucky few and you're seeing it for the second time in a couple of years. So anyway, that's it. Over to Dave and myself with some Aerosmith albums, and we'll come back and wrap things up at the end. Enjoy the show. Do one more, and then we'll take a quick little break. So from now, we go to Toys in the Attic. This is an album that I know a lot of people out there know and love. This is 9 tracks, 37 minutes. The third album from the band, released April 75 via Columbia Records, produced by Jack Douglas at Record Plant in New York. 3 singles were released, including Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way. This one became the breakthrough album for the band, peaking number 11 in the US, number 7 in Canada and France, or number 79 here in Australia. It's gone on to be certified platinum in Canada as well as 9 times platinum in the US, remains the band's highest selling album in the US as well today. So this is where they finally broke through that barrier. Dave, how'd you go with it?
I love this album to bits. Third album in their career, and the first one with all fresh material. The first 2 albums consisted of stuff they had played from the early club days.
Yep.
Not all of it, but most of it. This is an all-time classic and has influenced countless bands over the decades, most notably Guns N' Roses. I know Slash is a massive fan growing up.
Yeah.
It also has one of the most well-known rock songs in the history of the world, Walk This Way. It's quite a diverse album, lots of different tempos, different themes, and the album kicks off with a bang with Toys in the Attic, lots of energy. They're not fucking around. They're here to rock like hell. Killer intro riff. There's no intro solo. Wouldn't have worked in this situation. Just a killer song. This chorus is perfect, and for the in a live performance, you just hear the audience getting behind, going toys.
Yeah, definitely.
And Stephen continues to use great use of language. Voices scream, nothing seem, real as a dream. He's fucking poet. Interesting change of pace so early in the album of Uncle Salty. Usually they go for a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
It works really well in the context of this album. This is a slower song. I like that they've backed off on the distortion on the guitar tone. Interesting lyrics, and tells quite a tragic story. Good song. Very good song. Adam's Apple, song about Adam and Eve. I bet that pushed buttons back in the day.
Yes.
Great alliteration in the lyric writing. Even Eve in Eden, stuff like that. It's very, very well done. Cool musical midsections. The guitars mirror the main vocal lyrics, and Perry's always played solos that you could sing along to. You can hear the influence he had on Slash. Those are just 2 players. They write a solo and you can just sing along with it like the main vocal melody.
Great foil for Tyler too. Really, that pairing is so good.
They work so well together. Now we get to the most well-known song, Walk This Way. Funky drums open the song, and we get that riff. That's such an iconic riff, man. It's so cool. Once you hear it, you'll never forget it. And
that's it.
It's just one of those ones that, fuck. That
it's
makes
a really simple riff too. Like, it's not a complicated riff, but it's so good.
It comes from a basic blues scale too. It just comes from that.
But that's where the rhythm section really holds it and helps it kick along, because without the rhythm section, it wouldn't have the same impact.
Exactly. And you want to pick up a guitar or you want to play drum when you hear this. You want to be in the band. You got that funky groove and then stuff to the verse riff. A great lyric. Good old-fashioned, wholesome storytelling. That's what's missing in rock these days. The first verse alone covers masturbation, menstruation, threesomes, and cunnilingus. And it still gets played on radio to this day. I love Steven Tyler.
Oh, wow.
It went over so many people's heads. Nobody had an idea what their first verse was about, what the song was about. Guitar solo is awesome. Steven's vocal delivery is so unique. Then we get to big 10-inch. Double entendre, maybe a single entendre. It's all about whipping out your big 10-inch. Apparently he tried that on Joan Jett. She turned him down because she's not into it. That was in his bio. One of the ones that got away. Just a good swing to this song. Something different for them, and it works. And the music just helps you put that knowing smirk on your face because it's a happy vibe, and then the lyrics. Okay. Sweet Emotion. If Walk This Way wasn't a standout enough song for this album, we get this killer song. I fucking love playing this song. It is so much fun. There's just one cool riff after another. You got that cool bass intro with a talk box over it and a subtle volume swells, and then that riff just punches in. It's just D-A-A, just a little blues swell at the end. It's just a repeating riff. It's so tight and laid back at the same time. The riff between verses is fun to play. Like Walk This Way, you can just hear these riffs. They get stuck in your head. And once again, it makes you want to pick up a guitar. So some of the other songs in this album don't have those standout riffs. So that and Walk This Way are just as good for different reasons. Like Uncle Soul and Adam's Apple, they don't have those punchy riffs, but they've got other things that make those songs just as interesting. This is rock and roll swagger done really well. No More, No More, great follow-up to Sweet Emotion. Mid-page rocker, just an earworm for the chorus. Great upbeat vibe. Straightforward song, but it's a good track to hear in the whole context of the album. Wouldn't be a song I'd go to straight away, but if you're listening to the album, you're not going to stop that for any reason at all. And it leads nicely into Round and Round. Thunderous rock song, another cool guitar riff. Very simple guitar riff as well. It's just a very satisfying riff that pays off. It's just basically G and E, and it slides up to E up an octave. But fuck, that works so well.
Yes.
And repetition, it's like Zeppelin. It never gets boring. It just hooks you in.
Yeah.
And then the album closes with You See Me Crying. Nice piano ballad. And Steven Tyler and the piano just works so nicely together. Vocals are great. And Steven Tyler not only has such a great rock voice, but it's perfect for a ballad as well. The strings are a really nice touch. They just bring the song to life. There's a great dramatic ending to it. A perfect album. I give this 10 out of 10. Toys in the Attic, Uncle Soldy, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion, Round and Round, You See Me Crying. But there's a reason this album is a fucking rock classic.
Yeah, it's a big-time fan favorite too for this band. Like, if you're a fan of this band, this album is right up there, and with obvious reason why. This one, from the start, feels more gritty in tone overall, but on the flip side, it's so much more layered, and the artistic studio use is right there from the opening track. It's just there's more going on, but they've added more grit, which is actually harder to do than you think, but they've done it very, very well. It's simplistic in a lot of respects lyrically, but it's got a lot of energy in a great hook in the chorus of the opening track on this one. I love how the bass is actually pushed up at about 2/3 of the way through the song as well. So for those playing along at home and talking about Toys in the Attic, the title track, just the way that bass came up about nearly the back third of the song was just a really nice touch. And again, allowing the whole band to express themselves is what actually is really key to when these band is working. Even though you've got the twin focus points of Tyler and Perry, the rest of the band get the time to shine. When it's not working, you're not getting this. Does that make sense? We'll get more of that later on, but you can hear it so well. When everything's clicking and firing, pretty fucking hard to beat. Uncle Salty following Toys in the Attic is such a huge change to tempo and vibe. It's got more panning on it, especially in the guitar, but it's a pretty somber song, which, like you said, normally get a pretty good 1-2 punch, and they changed it up on this one to go straight to the sadder side of things pretty early on in the album, which was a nice way to do it. It makes it sort of leap out and get your attention a bit more. There's a nice little throwback feel when the Sunny Day lyrics come through, almost Beatlesque. Which is funny considering how much of this has been sort of Stones up until now. But there's that little, Sunny Day. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It just reminded me of the Beatles, which was, like I said, it was a contrast and was another point of difference. Like they were very Stones before, now they're incorporating a bit of the Beatles, and it's like, okay, the classic influences, they weren't afraid to show them, but they always still took them and made them their own, no matter what they were doing with it, which is cool as well. But there's some great groove on it, though. It builds nicely, and the rumble under it all fits so well. Then you get Adam's Apple afterward, which brings that swing and groove back that these guys are so damn good at doing. I love the lyrics on that one in particular. It's another sneaky good sort of deep cut, which is why we do these ones where you go right through the albums. I've really found myself drawn to those deeper cut sides of these things on these albums. It shows the depth of talent, because normally it's easy to highlight the singles, and we'll go through the finale at the last one, like we did last time with Queen, how we'll go through and pick our definitive sort of top 15, but then also your quote-unquote deep cuts, the ones that don't get played as much, and you make your top 15 out of that. And I can feel my top list being made up a lot of the deep cuts anyway as it stands, because for me they're just standout songs. I just love how good they are on those ones. The big hits are the ones you, like you said on the last album, you come for those ones, but if you're not drawn to the rest, I don't want you to listen to, because there are some fucking great songs across all these records. In what's clearly a trademark, the brass section is back in a big way. It really adds some extra wonderful accent to that song as well. Added to the drawling guitar, it just all works really nicely across that one. And what's great about this is on the last album, they really found their sound. Now they're expanding on it in all the right ways. So they've got, okay, here we are on the last album. Now they're going, okay, where can we push this? And it's so good to hear them exploring it in just the right way. Then you get the absolutely iconic Walk This Way, which I was expecting you to make a Run DMC reference. I thought you'd shit can that and
I'll mention that later, don't you worry.
But the Run DMC version was good for what it did. It brought everyone back, and it brought Aerosmith back in the limelight. It was one of those pivotal moments that brought the band back. Without that moment, I don't know if they get the same cut through later on in their career, to be blunt. But that said, when it comes to this version of the song on the original take of it, I prefer this than the Run DMC version. The Run DMC version, I like it, but just nothing quite compares to hearing how they did it before that remix came through. It's such a damn good song. The drum fill at the start that's expanded upon from Lord of the Thighs is so good. The lead work is fantastic as well. You can't beat that riff and rhythm, though. If you're into rhythm at all, that is what is the highlight of that song, like it is for me. Added to that is the racy vocals, which you touched on, Dave, and it becomes something else. What a hook. What a great fucking song, and it's Aerosmith summed up in a very clever way. I love the extra layering and the panning all throughout it. I think they've got that aspect absolutely nailed on this release, and the production, the last time it was great, this time it's all a massive step up, which is so good. And then you got the perfect follow-up with big 10-inch record. That's the timing of the pause is so pivotal how that song is delivered, like the big 10-inch record. And then, like, that is just, it's so simple, so silly, but so clever at the same time. And to actually do it and to do it well, again, is one of those little things that's harder to do than you think, because it will come off as so passé in so many contexts. These guys nail it. The Motown feel is great across that one. It flows on nicely from Walk This Way as well. It's a really good sort of lyrical terms it does. Like lyrically it flows on from Walk This Way. So yeah, you got a lot of, trickery or sass in Walk This Way, but that one is just a perfect little follow-up that's like, okay, here's a bit of a nod and wink kind of, if you didn't get it last time, you're going to get it this time kind of a thing. The wordplay from Tyler across this one is bang on. The rest of the band step up to the task to match it. Performance-wise, this whole album is wonderful. They're better each and every time. After that, you got another iconic track, and one of my all-time favorites from the band was Sweet Emotion. What an amazing, amazing song. The space in it is so well done. It's the first time you sort of get that droning at the start, and how they expand, and then like that riff you mentioned, that and like that whole the gear changes across that one song. It's riveting, and for me, probably steals the show in a lot of respects. I haven't heard a song like that until this point, and they nailed it. How they layered that song out is absolutely amazing. The way the rhythm section leads it with the vocals and then the guitar as the extra accent is so damn good. Then, like I said, you get the rhythm change, but also the backwards claps. Another production trick, but that backward clap is just so iconic in this song. Like, that song is an absolute masterpiece. There are two all-timers between that and Walk This Way on this album right here. This album up to this point is pretty sleazy, which is, them leaning into that side of their craft, which is cool. It's working well for them. That they've got that swagger. It's in full swing. It's going so well for them. And then you get No More, No More, which is a great groove-laden track. It's a simplistic change of pace, but it's really welcome at this point in time on the album, and the slower accent is a nice touch at this point in time. It's really cool how the guitar work, like I was saying to you before, is like the perfect foil for Tyler's vocals. It's stunning across this, and the rhythm section platform is perfect. That's why I say this whole band is on fire when they're all clicking together, because you can hear it. And when they're all pulling together as a team, it's something else to behold. They're firing now. They've locked everything down so tight while they're still expanding what they're capable of. It's wonderful here playing out on this record. Round and Round is a great example of that. That one is almost metal in how heavy it gets, especially with the vocal effect on it. It really stands out in that context on this album in a great way. Some real weight to it. The way the production has been used to accent that is so damn perfect as well. The pairing of the producer and the band is paying off big time on this album. It's got a real Zeppelin vibe to that song too. The swing and the swagger of that extra punch is really cool. So it's got that sort of Bonham-esque kind of impact to it, which is nice. I'd like to hear more of that, to be honest. I thought it was so good. But the panning on the title lyrics at the end with that almost sort of synth touch on it as well is a really good touch. It's a subtle thing, but it's really effective, which is really well done. Then you get the final track, You See Me Crying, which is another really good emotionally charged track on this one. The true ballad side of this band is getting better with each release as well. I know we had Dream On early, and that's hard to be, but just how they've gotten better in a lot of respects at writing and performing the ballads as the albums go through. It's a really important thing. It becomes more important later on, but they're doing it so well at a very early stage of their career, which is actually remarkable to go back and take in. In this one, you can hear the foundation of other releases to come too. It's like, they've got great lyrics again. The addition of strings is really well done across this one too. Big time feel with a classic style on it. And the way that You See Me Crying builds as a song is a perfect way to close the album too. The guitar solo is wonderful on it. Such a great song. It's sneaky good. Again, the whole deep cut side of things where you go and find the songs on these albums which aren't the hits. It's like if you don't hear them on radio, it doesn't mean they're no good. They're actually probably better songs than this one that aren't played on the radio for mine. This is another great step forward from these guys. It sets a platform for future work that can't be overlooked. This is a wonderful listen personally. I gave it 9 out of 10. Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, and Adam's Apple are my standouts on this one, but there's a lot of good tracks here to enjoy. All right, on to the big one, I guess. I think that's fair to say. This is the big one now. We're going to move on to Pump, our final album for this session. 10 tracks, 48 minutes, the 10th album from the band, or studio album, I should say, released September 89 via Geffen Records, produced by Bruce Fairbairn at Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver. 4 singles were released from this, including Love in an Elevator and Janie's Got a Gun. This one continued and expanded the band's success, peaking number 5 in the US, number 3 in the UK, number 1 here in Australia, along with a bunch of top 20s all over the world. It's gone on to be certified gold in the UK and Germany, platinum in New Zealand, 2 times platinum here in Australia, and 7 times platinum in both Canada and the US. This album also gave the band their first Grammy Award. It's also tied as their second highest selling album ever, which is actually kind of remarkable when you think about it. Dave, is this the one?
Yeah. This is the one. This is a very special album for me. My introduction to Aerosmith, while watching music video shows in the late 80s for Guns N' Roses to come on, this other band started coming on called Aerosmith. I'm like, hey, this band looks a little bit like Guns N' Roses. They sound a little bit like
Janie's Got a Gun was a monster.
Mm-hmm. That song was everywhere. Yeah. And I've told the story before, but I recorded it onto VHS and I held a cassette player up to the TV so I could listen to it in my Walkman until I could save up enough pocket money to go and buy the single. And my friend's older sister had Pump on cassette. And I'm like, sneak the tape and tape it for me, man. Do it. Just tape it for me. I eventually convinced him to do it. But yeah, 1989 was an amazing year, and this is an absolute perfect album, and it has aged beautifully over the years. I can go back and listen to it over and over every year since, much like Appetite for Destruction and Illusions for me. They took everything they were doing on Permanent Vacation and made it bigger and better. And considering how good that album was, that was no easy task. I like how each song kind of flows into each other. It's kind of cinematic in a way because you got little introductions, a little bit of music playing, or a little acoustic part, or the spoken word at the start. I'm loving it. Elevator. Steven Tyler's vocals are fantastic throughout this. He is absolutely on top of his game. And the rest of the band, Joe Perry's solos are phenomenal. The rhythm section from Brad Whitford, they just complement each other with the guitar playing. The drums sound amazing, and the bass locks everything together really nicely. The whole band's just on. Yes. Great collection of themes in the lyrics as well. You got the expected sex, drugs, and rock and roll as you want with Aerosmith, but this is from a band who's been around the block a few times. The band has got their success back on the previous album after losing it, after having it. So they're veterans, and they're still very young to be able to put a lot more great music out at this point. I won't say it's a more mature band, but it's certainly a more wise band. This time around, in addition to what you would expect from an Aerosmith album, you got some more serious themes, obviously, with the child abuse of Janie, and Janie's got a gun. And you also have more tender moments at times. There's more life experience behind that as well. So we can see Steven actually has lived what he wants to say. Production is fantastic. I'm not really a production person, but I think this album is fantastically recorded and
this
produced.
album gives me fucking goosebumps, man. Oh my god!
One of those albums you can listen to over and over. The phrase "bigger is better." Which we'll debate to the end of time when I say bigger is better in regards to 90s grunge, but when used properly, bigger is fucking better, and this album proves it.
Sometimes.
You got the addition of horns and strings, and they just heighten what's already there. They're not overdone, but when they're there, they make the song pop. So we kick off with Young Lust, excellent album opener. It sets the tone for what's to come. Great vibe, fun, youthful, lusty. That's what you want. And then it follows up with Fine, fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Just like, we've all got what we want from an Aerosmith album, but they've lived through it, and they can not so much joke about it, but bring it. This was almost the album title. In fact, it's written on one of the trucks on the cover, in very small writing. This has some of the best Steven Tyler double entendres. She's got a new kind of jelly in her jelly roll. Just and I got the right key, baby, but the wrong keyhole.
Yes.
And then there's a reference to Tipper Gore. Even Tipper says I'm all right.
I know.
A punch in the face.
That's so
now, apparently, they did not. The studio didn't want them to publish the lyrics inside the album to not have to deal with the PMRC's bullshit. Yeah. So they just got the song titles, which is disappointing because as a younger kid, you wanted to kind of read what was going on, but it makes you listen harder to what he's saying. And
the production makes everything clear enough. You can make it.
It really does. Yeah. You just want to be able to copy it down until you.
Oh, I get it. But
it's cool. Love It in Elevator. Such a great groove to the song. Killer riff. I remember when they performed that on Hey Hey It's Saturday. It's like as a band playing Love It in Elevator on Hey Hey It's Saturday. Fucking yes. If that dong doesn't put a smile on your face.
Here's a double entendre, Dave.
There's my double entendre. Well, if this song doesn't put a smile on your face, you're obviously a fine, upstanding gentleman. It's harmless fun.
And you're watching the wrong show. So
you're watching the wrong show. And the call and response that they do during the verses with the whoa and the whoa, in between the vocals, brilliant. And it's not just sex in the lyrics. They reference being a millionaire, all these life goals that people had back in the 80s. Not that when rock got miserable in the 90s, so the hip-hop guys started singing about sex and money and cars and girls.
I remember the timeline of things. Cherry Pie came after this one, didn't it?
Yeah, Cherry Pie was late 90, I think. Actually, Cherry Pie was a response for Love in an Elevator.
Yeah, that's what
because it was going to be called Uncle Tom's Cabin. That's why the rest of the album of Cherry Pie sounds so different. The studio was pushing for a sex song.
Yeah, and that's what this is,
Yeah. Monkey on My Back. Killer riff. The intro and the drums lock in perfectly. It's beautiful. Great lyrics and the delivery. clean and sober, but the temptation is always there. Now, as a kid, I had no idea what this song was about, and it was a pretty successful single. Artists were really clever because you could sell heavy themes to a massive audience. That was really well done. Now, speaking of heavy themes, next up is Janie's Got a Gun. The first song of Aerosmith I ever heard. I loved the music, and even as a young child, I knew that this was a really serious theme. There's a great atmosphere created by the band. The music video complements that as well, but the lock-in, the little phrasing and the bass at the start, the mood shifts from the intro to the verses to the choruses. Steven's vocals are fantastic. They're filled with emotion and raw passion. Now, even as a young kid, I was cheering for Janie. It was justifiable homicide. I am totally invested in this story. I'm like, kill the son of a bitch. There's no excuse for that. Such a powerful song. Such a powerful song. Excellent guitar solo. Now, I've just recently learned that there was a few lyrical changes at the urging of the studio. Stevens had a bit more bite and wasn't holding anything back. And his original version is often sung live. But I think the changes work in the context of a mainstream single. You can sell and get the story through by dumbing it down just a little bit and still get it across. And then you got the live setting to do the full thing. But yeah, I think that is a masterfully crafted song to get that thing out to a mass audience. The other side, the acoustic intro to this song is awesome. The vocalizations are a nice touch. I love this song. It's actually used in the movie True Romance, the Tarantino with Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. Yes. The two main characters arrive.
Again, Dave. You know that.
I know, but yeah, David Lynch. But when the characters arrive in Hollywood, it's just such a perfect arrival music for coming to the glitz, the glamour, and the underbelly of Hollywood. It's a fun, upbeat summer barbecue drinking song. Lots to enjoy, but it's just the horns are brilliant. Great song. Then My Girl, a bit of a change of pace for the album. Still got that same energy, but just shifting moods a little bit. Great, upbeat, fun celebration of Stevens' women. So many songs cover relationships and broken hearts. It's refreshing to have a song about the good times. Just like, And of course, there's a little wink nudge in the lyrics, but that's what Steven does. Don't get mad, get even. Some would say a weaker moment on the album. I still think this is great. A bit of a throwback to their earlier blues-based stuff. And you know, the writing is complementary to production. But yeah, it's a bit of a lower gear, but only just slightly. You kind of need that breath because the next song,
you need that,
you do need a breath in between. And the next song is one of my all-time favorite Aerosmith songs. It's an album track. They have performed it live a few times. Not many people really talk about Hoodoo, Voodoo, Medicine Man. Just got a great build-up with that bit of Native American Indian chanting. Picture a campfire, really earthly, kind of maybe some rumbly fire and the sky and shit. Great mood, great feel. There's energy and anger. This is kind of an angry song. It's interesting, the theme about Mother Earth, pissing off of Mother Earth, and Stevens masturbating with the moose. There's some great wordplay in there. It's kind of vague enough to ascribe your own meaning to it, and then I'm sure Steven had his own ideas when he came up with this. I used to listen to this song a lot when I was 16. I come up having a really shit day at school. This was kind of like my vent song. Just chuck it on repeat, just fucking vent. Now, what it takes, it's a nice idea to end the album with a ballad. It's the right place for the album, and it's cool how they call back the F-I-N-E, fine idea from the previous song. It's nice to embed that. Some do claim this album is too produced, too slick. They're crazy. This takes the band and what they do and presents them into something that a lot more people can enjoy. And I seriously doubt it drove away any old school Aerosmith fans when they released this. I think Aerosmith were on top of the world when this came out. It's everything I want from an album. You got great songwriting, great performances. The production makes it an absolute joy to listen to. You got sex, you got sentiment, you got serious themes, you got the cocky swagger and the attitude, and it's a fucking great rock and roll album. Takes the band to a whole new level, shows them growth as musicians and people. At this point in this process, I just realized that unlike a lot of other bands, in fact, every other band I can think of, Aerosmith haven't released special editions of their albums or anniversary box sets. Because I'd be keen to hear what they're sitting on in the vault in the making of this, because you can see on the Making a Pump videos, had a lot more than 12 songs or 10 songs on the board. So there would have been stuff left over. So I would love to hear what else they abandoned.
Because I think they just announced like the most comprehensive greatest hits collection so far.
Yeah, they did. There's something coming. Yeah, and they just recently signed a deal to get all their albums onto the same company. So it's all home now, so they can do something like that. So
It
who
will
knows, we
happen.
might get some great box sets coming. That'd be cool.
Mm.
But yeah, this is definitely a 10 out of 10 album. It's definitely one of my top 5 albums of all time. But I'm not even going to bother reading out the standouts because it's the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm going to completely agree with you, Dave. And for those that say it's too polished and too overproduced, I'm just going to say fuck off. Like, this is a monster. I remember you'd stay up late and watch Rage back in the day.
Yeah.
And, you had Jimmy Barnes with Lay Down Your Guns. And then you had this one. And this was just absolutely huge. When Janie's Got a Gun was just in rotation on TV for fucking years. Like, it did not go away. And it's such a timeless song. And I think that this is the impact, or the time in their lives where the impact of being a parent is kind of coming into play for the band a bit. And that maturity, that cleanliness of their lifestyle, it's all come together, and this one is just the right album at the right time. And even now, it's fucking phenomenal to listen to this one. Write my reviews like we did the Queen series before, and I'm really emotively attached to Queen. This band I'm not quite as emotively attached to as you are. I think it's a bit of I think this is the other way around. Like, Queen's important to us both, but I think I anchor to that more. Aerosmith's important to us both, but I think you anchor to this one more. And it's funny how so much of Queen stuff gave me these goosebump and emotive moments, but this album gave me all the same feelings listening to it from start to finish, and I will never get tired of spinning this album ever. It is one of those Desert Island albums. This picked up right where the last album left off, goes onto another level on top of that, and right from the start, this is just fucking on. You're taken away with this one. The drive and the groove in Young Lust, what a fucking song. It's the perfect tone setter. The harmonica, the vocals, the lead work, especially the rhythm section, it's there. The sleaze is back, but if anything, the delivery is better and more intelligent than it has been in the past. There's some real meat on the bone, finally, lyrically, on this album. The tempo changes, the space, it's all so much fun. And the way that segues into Fine or Fine is perfect. What an amazing hook in that song as well. The harmonies make that pop so damn well. Like, the layering of the vocals is just wow. Like, that's how you do it. The sultry tone that leads into it is perfect. The 1-2 punch of those two tracks that open this album is just goosebump stuff. It is so well done. A little panning and effect on the Rubbers lyric is perfect. Like that, there's a little moment. It's just one little thing, but it's so good. The layering is wonderful. This is so rich sonically. Probably the best they've sounded yet, as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of the people that want the old gritty stuff probably may have had an issue with this one. But fuck, this is a monster. The track-to-track joins on this one. This is almost like a concept album, how it flows. It's really well done. The lead into Love in an Elevator is perfect. It's dated. It's very much of the era. It doesn't, have the same context today as it did back in the day, but it still works so damn well. This album is just straight up fucking horny. That's what this album is. It's funny that one of the biggest hits on this album actually slows things down a bit in the context of things. Like, it's well placed, it's a nice gear change, but Love in an Elevator after the first two tracks is actually a bit slower, which is cool. Yeah. The gang vocals are bang on. The return of the brass section on that song is so damn impressive as well. Not overdone. It's just bounced off the lead work. That's actually so well done. Perry is on fire. The two peak aspects of this band in Tyler and Perry are just back in the saddle, if I can use that pun. Like, it's so they started last time around, and I was impressed with last time out, but this is just cranked to 11, to use the old cliche on this album. The little backwards effects here and there, the layering, the use of panning on the going down kind of thing, the way the rhythm just keeps it all locked in, it's just all dialed in so damn tight across this. The little bongo hit that leads into the vocal a cappella close is perfect. Like, it's such a small detail, but that space there, that little moment, allows Monkey on My Back to bring the bluesy groove back to the album in the perfect way. That song is the first one that dives into, the drugs side of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which is what this album is all about, and I'm all for it. That more serious touch sets the tone for the iconic Janie's Got a Gun, and that is, I said before at the top, that's just a monster fucking song. The serious, I said, this album was horny and it's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but when you get to Janie's Got a Gun, that storytelling, that delivery, the performance of it, I mean, do you believe, I don't know what actually was the inspiration behind that song. Who knows? I don't know if there's any actual truth or whatever, but it feels like it. It actually feels like a personal story when you listen to it. That's how connecting it is to listen to it through the speakers. It's, I don't know, when they want to get serious, they can do it with the best. Really, they can. The vocals on that song deservedly take your attention and just sweep you up in the story. But the composition and the production of that one are well worth your attention as well. The space in it, there's little things like the hand claps and the other subtle touches, the solo, the way they pull everything back and then have accented little bits and pieces on this is just, it hits perfect. You've got that Tyler trill, that thing we talked about before, that's back on this one. There's just so much to take in. And on that song, I love the quote-unquote strings on it as well. That song has so much drama in just a few minutes. It's amazing what they did with that piece of music. It's one of those ones where if you could get one of those in your career, you've done pretty fucking well. And they did it with that song. That's an impressive song. Right down to the panning on the fade out with the synth in that song. It's such a small detail that fuck all people will pick up on, but it just shows that level of attention poured into this album. It's just that they did something there and it was just no one's going to hear it. It's right into the fucking, weeds of the album, but damn, it's so cool. There's a little hillbilly elements on this one too. The dulcimer stomp is the perfect take a breath sort of moment before you hit the other side. That's a great little touch on it. The use of phrasing between the main vocal and the backing vocal is perfect. The brass section and the rumble on the other side is just perfect. I love the grunt that song brings. That it's just straight out right fucking sleazy, and it's great. It's just good. It's so well balanced. This album to me, if you listen to me bang on about things for the years that I talk about reference albums, where they're albums you just know how good it sounds, you can put them on anywhere, and you can tune your stereo to sound right listening to certain albums. And this is one of those. I put it right there with production for mine in terms of Metallica's Black Album. This is right next to it in terms of the albums you go to if you want to hear how if you want to set up your system, you want to know how it's supposed to sound, this is an album you can do it to. It's just so well balanced. This is how you mix and produce this kind of music as far as I'm concerned. There is so much ear candy across this one, but it's not taking the spotlight away from the 1-2 punch that is Tyler and Perry Eye. They shine like the bright lights they are, but there is just so much detail, and the rest of the band around them just get to absolutely anchor everything perfectly. Performances from top to bottom across this are fucking perfect. I don't know where or how to fault this album at all. This is an album to study because each second is a joy to listen to. My Girl, for me, is probably the weakest track in the context of the album, but it's only because of the weight of this album. On any other album they've ever done, My Girl would be a standout track. It's just on this album, it's eclipsed by some absolutely phenomenal work. That's how strong this collection of songs is. The weakest song on this one would be a standout on any other album. That tells you something to me. That this album is just a beast. If you've never listened to this one, oh my God, you're in for a treat as far as I'm concerned. It's a fun, simple song that it just has that twang that the band does so well. It's everything ever they've just done and distilled and purified in one record, this album is. I love the snap in the drums. The way the bass drives it is so cool. It's a great track, just outshone by the rest of the album, like I said. It's just, I love the energy on it. It's just, yeah. It's just one of those things. It's funny how the worst song on the best album is going to be the best song on any other album kind of thing. It's one of those records that there aren't many of those around, but this is one of them. You've even got Didgeridoo on this one, which is just fucking what? for a straight band, for a clean band, they've lost their mind in all the best ways. Like, the creativity here is just wonderful to take in. And Don't Get Mad, Get Even really brings that smoky southern side of things into play. I love the space and the straight up vocals and drums to open. It is great as well. And that sets the tone for the big chorus to come in and just blows the cones out of your speakers. Like, the layering, the attention to detail is wonderful. Storytelling is so good as well. It's simplistic, but that's the charm because there's real depth delivered in such an infectious way. It's some great wordplay in this one. Voodoo Medicine Man is so well set up by the bass run for me. I love the rumble in that track and how it's offset so well by the top end hard panning, which is cool. It's one hell of an intense song too. I get why it's a release song for you, Dave, but there's a certain kind of meanness to it that really fits in well on the album, and it's really well placed toward the end of it too. It's actually well put, well produced. All that, like, again, the execution is bang on. It's so well set up by a little interlude hoodoo kind of thing. But while the song is a real statement of the era, it's also bloody well time, like the times that it was in. It's funny how, like I said, some things haven't held up, like, Love in an Elevator wouldn't, probably get past the guard today kind of thing. But the way this album is so timeless at the same time, if that makes sense, the themes, the concepts, all that kind of stuff, that a lot of shit hasn't changed in all these years, and it's still really just visceral and emotive listening to this album today. Again, use of space and panning is so good. Albums like this make me smile from ear to ear listening to it. I could just fucking go on and on. I love how we get more of Tyler's lower register on that track as well. That's a nice addition to go along with his trademark scream. So you're getting the best of Tyler, absolutely, from top to bottom, literally, on this album. Then it all comes to a close as you get the ballad What It Takes, and what a song that is to wrap up this album. It's another wonderful emotive performance. Where you got Janie's Got a Gun, there was this wrenching feeling to it that is just actual, like, that's just your heart bleeds for someone else. This song is your heart bleeding for yourself, if that makes sense. Like, What It Takes to Let You Go is such a emotive track, and the piano, the bass, the vocals, it's the perfect platform for Tyler to go off on. The vocal moment on Dice, like that, it's just a what the fuck moment. It's great. I get chills thinking about it now. To think you've lost everything, like on the roll of a dice kind of thing. It's just like, wow. And that vocal delivery in that moment and the way it was captured and presented was just fucking priceless. The song builds to that crescendo so well. What a way to close this masterpiece of an album. I love the lyrics as well. Even the change of tone for the guitar solo, they're still exploring little things here and there on each and every track, but making the most of it and making it fit. If you've never sat down and listened to this album in full, locked away either with headphones or stereo or do something, just actually take the hour, sit down with this album and just take it in with no distractions. It is just something else. It's a wonderful album to dissect, in case you can't tell. I love talking about it. I can't speak highly enough of it. This could well be the peak of the band. I think it will be the peak of the band. I know there's more to come after this one, but yeah, this album is just going to be so hard to beat. I love this from top to bottom. There's no weak spots in it. It's pretty damn perfect, and I love everything about it. Even the little hidden shindig at the very end.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a really cool way to sort of just do it. I don't know. It's funny how this album, though, has such a low number of streams overall, which I actually found really surprising. The count on this is really quite low, considering what it is. This needs to be more listened to. I know that the next album is their most, like, this is the equal second highest selling of all time. The hits on this one fucking are, momentous, but the other songs on this album just seem to not have been as played as much as I would have thought they should be, for me. So yeah, please do. Like, I wonder how many people watching have actually listened to this album from top to bottom and just taken it all in completely as a wonderful piece to enjoy. But yeah, hopefully people do now. Yeah, this needs to be an iconic album. It is an iconic album as far as I'm concerned. 10 out of 10, just like you. You can't fault this one. Fine, Young Lust, Janie's Got a Gun, The Other Side, What It Takes, the whole fucking album. Just listen to it. Like, there's no dud tracks on this at all. And that is probably the best way to wrap up this section of our little deep dive into Aerosmith's discography. Do it then. So coming up first in this session is Aerosmith with Get a Grip, 14 tracks, 62 minutes, the 11th studio album from the band, released April 1993 via Geffen Records, produced by Bruce Fairbairn at A&M Studios in Los Angeles and Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver. 6 singles were released, including Crazy and Cryin'. This album became the band's best-selling release worldwide. I was right. Peaking number 1 in the US, number 2 in the UK, number 3 here in Australia, along with a host of top 10s all over the world. It's been certified gold in over 10 countries, including here in Australia and New Zealand, diamond in Canada, and platinum or multi-platinum in 15 countries, including the UK, 2 times in Japan and 7 times in the US. This was the band's first number 1 in the US, won 2 Grammys, has guest spots from Don Henley and Lenny Kravitz, and features many more collaborations with outside writers, just like they explored in the past. Dave, how'd you go?
Ooh. Yeah, this is a fantastic album. The follow-up to Pump was going to be hard to do, and they did a remarkable job. This album is awesome. A couple of weaker moments here and there, could be a couple of songs shorter, but overall it's fantastic. They're still very much a rock band, but now they're a famous rock band, a very famous rock band. So I'm glad they continue to write towards radio and MTV, because they're really good at what they do. There's still enough bite on this album for them to be the rock band that is Aerosmith. And at the time, 1993, not many bands were doing what Aerosmith were doing. Aerosmith filled in a much-needed gap. And as Andrew said in the introduction to this review, Get a Grip actually sold more than Pump. It surprised me a lot when I heard about that. But it kind of makes sense. In 1993, no one's making music like this anymore. It's an antidote to the emerging grunge. And plus, it's riding the success of Pump. Pump came out in 1989. Cassettes were big. So your mate had the cassette, you tape it. So that reduces sales. But this is in the early 90s. CDs are huge. CDs aren't that expensive. People have some income. It's going to sell more. It's just the nature of the beast. But 93 was a very strange time in music. There was lots of bands from the 80s still around, but as I said, grunge was getting really quickly, really fast. Taste in music were changing. Plus, the party of the 80s was coming to an end. They either burned out or had families or whatever reason. But there were a lot of big-name bands that released albums in 93. Most were live albums, cover albums, or compilation. Here's an example. Maiden, 3 live albums, Tickets and Quits. Kiss, live album, Alive Free. Van Halen, Live Right Here, Right Now. Judas Priest, compilation album, Metal Works, Alfred Quits. Metallica, Binge and Purge, live album. Def Leppard, compilation, Guns N' Roses, cover album, Spaghetti Incident. Want some new music? How about Halloween with Chameleon?
Wow.
Single leads. Metal's not in a good spot at the moment.
No.
So, want some new music? Nirvana, In Utero. Pearl Jam, Versus. Want something a bit heavier? Type O Negative, Bloody Kisses. Sepultura, Chaos AD. Anthrax, Sound of White Noise. New singer, New Edition. Music was changing drastically, so Aerosmith brought the fun of upbeat rock and roll. The album opens with Intro, which I don't think they've done an intro, but it's kind of cool because you've got previous references to lyrics like right key, baby, but the wrong keyhole, the walk this way, riff. Right from the start, Aerosmith are taking the past and moving forward, and they're filling a void that desperately needs filling. Then you got the first actual song, Eat the Rich. Such a fun song, catchy tune, lots of energy. Big sounding stadium rock, which is perfect for radio. And it's got that, they're a successful band, but they're still working class. It's like, fuck the rich, eat the rich. And it got that line, shove it up your ass. That's hilarious. And the song ends with a burp. But on Spotify, the burp starts Get a Grip. So whenever I click to Get a Grip, it burps, and my son laughs his head off. He goes, "Daddy's playing the burp song."
That's great.
Daddy, put the burp song on. Okay. But Get a Grip, such a cool, catchy song. It's such a good groove to that song. The sound has changed from Pump, but it's still got that same energy. There's a lot more danceable songs on this, for lack of a better term, but still very much a rock album. It's a cool thing that about the song is every instrument gets a chance to bring something to the song. The drums are driving the song, the bass locks in nicely, the rhythm section's cool, and Stephen delivers those vocals with a rhythm that fits the music perfectly. Great chorus, great line in the chorus, got to have stones when you're living in the city. All about nuts. Fever, the only Steven Tyler, Joe Perry song without outside riders. Fun, upbeat, old school rock and roll. And great line that I'd rather be the buzz you'd be getting from the crack don't last. I'd rather be ODing on the crack of your ass. Fucking beautiful.
Totally.
Now, probably either the Love in an Elevator or Janie's Got a Gun for this album. Living on the Edge. Fantastic song. Excellent video. Social commentary. Serious theme presented in a really catchy song. Cool acoustic intro. Great hook. Fucking brilliant. Really good song in terms of both writing and performances. Cool music video with Eddie Furlong, a couple of years after Terminator 2. So you wonder what else he did with his career. He did this video. And then he did stuff. He did Pet Sematary 2, which was cool. He did a movie called Brain Scan and something else. He was in a sequel to Crow, which I never saw. Anyway, Flesh. Yeah. Similar groove and energy to the rest of the album, but there's some darker tones to this song, which is a nice addition. Yeah. Very cool guitar solo as well. Walk On Down, Joe Perry lead vocals. Great catchy chorus with the whole "you're shit out of luck." That's instantly memorable. Cool underrated song, and I can hear like Izzy Stradlin took a lot of influence from Joe Perry because he's got that same kind of cool swagger, laid back, cigarette in the mouth. It's fucking old school rock.
Yeah.
Shut Up and Dance, another cool funky song, just like the title track. This is an awesome song, and not just because it's in Wayne's World 2, which brings it to a whole other thing, but I think that's when Aerosmith started getting really involved in movies, and this song fit perfectly into the vibe of Wayne stock. But you don't have to overcomplicate anything. It's just a fun, upbeat song. Got some swing. Now, Crying, as a pissed off 13-year-old, I was not sold on this song at the time. It was a sappy ballad. And I was a pissed off Nirvana fan at the time. It was like, but these days, I can't not appreciate this song. It is fantastic. Steven's passionate vocal performance is outstanding. His voice just continues to get stronger and stronger at this point. Great music video, which I actually watched recently because I ignored the song when I was younger, so I haven't seen the video until recently. Got Alicia Silverstone and Stephen Dorff, both brilliant.
That's right. Yeah.
If you're a fan of Lost, you got a very young Sawyer making an appearance in this video, John Holloway. Okay. He's the guy who swipes a handbag and then cops a kick. He looks like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Cool guitar riff. Not a right song, but kind of gets overshadowed from the rest of the album because much like My Girl on Pump, the rest of the songs up here, this one would be a great song in any other person's album, but overshadowed. Crazy, slow blues ballad. Guitar solo is really, really cool. And it's just as dramatic as Steven's vocals, or Steven's vocals are just as dramatic as the solo. But there's a reason why Tyler and Perry are considered the best frontman guitar duos. Line up, decent album track, but gotta love it. It could possibly be a minute. There's a lot of songs on this album, so that could have been one that they put as a B-side. Plus, we've got Crazy and then this lineup and then followed by Amazing. So it's kind of really sandwiched between two behemoths again. Nice piano ballad with Amazing, lyrically about dark themes, about the breakup of the band. Co-written by Richie Super, which is interesting, bringing him back. And nice reference to Permanent Vacation in the lyrics, but video has got Alicia Silverstone again. But they really knew how to hone their craft into creating for the mainstream. Boogeyman, nice 2-minute bluesy instrumental to close the album with, kind of a throwback to Permanent Vacation. Once again, a lot of outside writers that come in for this album, but it works really well. And as I've said before, I'm all for that. As I mentioned at the end of Pump, there was a lot of leftover songs that didn't make it. So hopefully there's some anniversary albums coming up soon at some point. But I love Pump. There's no way you can top it. But this is still a good album, so I give it 9 out of 10. Eat the Rich, Get a Grip, Living on the Edge, Shut Up and Dance and Crying are my favourite and standout songs from this album.
Nice. Cool. Well, you covered off the little intro that this one has very nicely. So after that, you get, it has the callback elements. But after that, you're straight into things with Eat the Rich. I mean, what a riff. The chorus is fantastic as well. There is some cool attitude in this right from the start, which is exactly what you're looking for after the Pump experience. And again, continues the trend of them opening their albums really strongly. Lead work is fantastic. There's nice layering across it all. Great groove and energy. There's some really nice panning too. This is a really great opening track to this album. There's some nice bite in the lyrics as well, which is nice. But that groove really flows into the title track next. And Tyler is bang on here again. His bite is fantastic. The use of his vocal range is wonderful. And, you know, like you said, the Tyler and Perry dynamic is on full display yet again. The rest of the band really feel it out nicely. There's no denying their ability and chops. And the use of Foley and the digital tones on this one is well done. Fever keeps the train rolling right on through with a nice little dose of 12-bar blues in the bass run. Like, that was a really cool little touch there. Some really clever wordplay in that one as well. And there's just great solos all over this. Same with the harmonies and the gang vocals. This album just oozes more attitude and really does capture you on the deep dive more. I think this is a really good deep listen kind of an album. And this one, that track in particular, brings back the harmonica in a big way. As well with the solo that's in there, it just really brings that trademark twang these guys do so well back into things very nicely. Then, like you said, there's a monster track after that with Living on the Edge. It's so timeless, timeless. If anything, that song is probably more relevant today with everything going on, especially in the United States, than it was in the early 90s. Like, and don't worry, we're not immune here in Australia. We're having the same issues. It's just not quite to the scale. But yeah, it's just such a timeless song. It shows you how far we have not come in how many years? 30 years, actually. Yeah, 30 years this year.
It does show how far Steven Tyler's come as a man and a songwriter too. True,
very true. And to write a song like this 30 years ago that is still as relevant, if not more relevant today, is really quite remarkable. The lyrics on that song are extremely well crafted. The use of space in the song is brilliant. When it kicks into the heavier side, it's such a great counterpoint in the whole song as well. Like, they did a great thing there. Otherwise, you know, apart from the heavier side, it's a really somber, intelligent note in what up until this point is a great party album. This has some serious weight to it. It's one of my all-time favorites from this band. I find it very hard to go past this track. The layering of things like the piano and the lower vocals is done really well too. And, you know, overall the mix on this album isn't as bombastic as you got on Pump. It's kind of hard to beat what they did with that album, but all they've done on these songs serves them incredibly well. This is another well-mixed, produced album. It's just more balanced, more even, I guess, than the last one. I like Pump's mix more, but this is a damn fine sonically produced record. But there's some more new exploring done on this one too. The opening of Flesh is one example of that. The use of samples is something pretty new to these guys. This is another in their long line of raunchy songs that still serves this band so incredibly well. They really are unlike any other in this regard. They're so good for so long when it comes to this style of music. There's a real snap to this album as well, and the use of hard panning and extra drama and impact sort of highlights that. The little soundscape touches are pretty cool on this one as well. There's a fair bit going on in this one. Like I said, not quite as bombastic as Pump, but there's a lot more sort of room for the bit of art, I guess, on this one, more than there was in Pump. Pump was a bit more direct. This one's a bit more artistic, if that makes sense. It's funny how they're adding new things in, but in a lot of ways the album feels sort of stripped back compared to Pump. Nothing bad, it works well. It's just a little footnote there on the whole thing. It's just one of those quirky little things, but it's incredibly well done. Walk On Down sees Perry take the lead vocals, and it's a nice sort of place on the record too, and it breaks things up. The grit that he brings vocally works on the songs they've picked him to do it, so they've done very good across the board with the songs they've had him do it for. And yeah, I think in this particular track it worked really well. And that in turn actually helps to break up the middle of this album rather nicely. This one flows well, even though they're moving into sort of longer territory with this particular album. It flows really nicely. Shut Up and Dance is another solid song, but at this point in this album, it does feel like a little bit of a sequel overall, and it's not quite as good as the first one, if that makes sense. Like, it's always that case of the sequel is never quite what you want, like, kind of thing, and that's what this album sort of slightly feels like at this point. But that said, Pump was always going to be incredibly hard to follow, so I don't know what you would do and what you would expect anything. Yeah. You can't ask for perfection. It's just not going to happen twice in a row. This is a solid album. The extra studio work isn't quite getting it there like it was on the previous album. I think they just sort of, aced it last time around. It's great. It's just not quite to the same level, which again, like I said, incredibly hard to do it twice at all. Like, 1 is hard. Twice is fucking near impossible. Shut Up and Dance, though, has a nice sort of Van Halen-esque feel to it, which is cool, especially the guitar lick following the lead vocal. That was a nice sort of touch there. But there are some absolutely monstrous hits on this. Crying is one of those. I love how that one finally brings the brass section into this album as well. I hadn't had it until that song. And it's such a solid song. It's so easy to see why it cut through the sea of music at the time, going so damn well. They're the masters of taking something simple and really making it launch. And I don't think I've come across a band that does it as effectively and as consistently as these guys have done it throughout their career. Great solo on it. Great bite in the song too, which is another thing that they've really used light and shade well. It's heartfelt, a little bit sleazy, but it's so well done. They are so good at this sort of stuff. The part where they pull the faders and let the vocal take the spotlight on Diane near the end before another hard pan harmonica solo is really well done. Like, they just, little details again make all the difference, and this one did a really good job there. Gotta Love It is another solid track, but it isn't, stunner to stunner kind of a thing. That said, every song really serves a purpose on this album. It's a complete album in that regard. Everything on this one makes the whole product better. So you wouldn't cut anything, all that sort of stuff. You wouldn't ditch anything from it. For me, like you, it doesn't quite hit the same heights as Pump, but everything here serves a purpose. There's no filler on this one at all. It all has a place and time for it, which is all you can ask for of a good album. There's some nice peaks and troughs on this one, some nice use of dynamics across the whole album. Crazy, though, is another massive song, more on the heartfelt side, which serves this album really well. There's great storytelling across the whole album, though. And the mood shifts on this, just the right use of sparkle here and there. It's really well done on this album. Much more reward, though, on the deep dive than I originally thought. The casual spin, I don't think, does this album the justice it deserves. I find it funny that it's outsold Pump, but I think listening to this actually properly, like we encourage everyone to do, as opposed to sort of casually spinning in the background, I think you get much more value out of the deep dive on this one. Lineup brings the energy back to the album. Some great groove in that track. The rhythm section shines on that one in particular and deserves so much more credit than they actually get, generally speaking. The rhythm section, I can't speak highly enough about this album, but also their whole career. I think there's been cases where they've saved the band before, and they just are so good at what they do. Tyler and Perry are great, but without that platform, how great would they be? Like, they do have that sort of all entire symbiotic thing. No one else from the band is doing well on their own. They all have to work together to make it sort of work. Amazing is another fantastic song on this one for me. I think it gets a bit more overlooked than it should. I love the lyrics. Storytelling is great on that one too. And the space left for the vocals is brilliantly done. And the emotive conviction really shines on that track in particular for me. That song alone is worth listening to the album for, as far as I'm concerned. The little jazz radio touch at the end is pretty much the perfect way to wrap this thing up. The instrumental closer, Boogeyman, is a really nice piece of music, though. I think, you could have left it at the jazz thing, but the instrumental track is a really nice way to sort of put the bow on it all. It's just a little bit redundant. You do have to say it's the most lush sounding track on the album, though, which is kind of funny, and that's what I wanted more of in terms of production on this album. But this is a great album regardless. I don't think it hits the heart to Pump, like we both said, actually, a few times now. But that was going to be hard to equal or beat. It was going to be pretty hard to fucking get even closer. So it's a tough act to follow. It's a solid outing from these guys. One that shines, like I said, on, give it the attention it deserves. Don't just sort of gloss by it. This is one that, has some growing stuff on it too. Like, it's one of those ones that I love more and more as I spin it more often. It's not quite as immediately gripping, but it has more longevity, if that makes sense. I think this is one of those ones that was,
I get that.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Living on the Edge, Amazing, Fever, and Eat the Rich, my standouts on this particular track. And that's it for this special pre-recorded live stream of the Hard Rock Show. Apologies for not being live this week. Like I was saying, I'm away with family at the moment, so I'm just taking a bit of a week off. But wanted to give you something to keep the routine rolling, give you something to enjoy while I was off doing that. This is a taste for you because we're going to release all 3 segments that this is built out of over the Christmas break coming up in about, I don't know how many weeks now. It's like 8 weeks away, if that. It's ridiculous how close Christmas is now. But yeah, because we have a break, we usually stop. Anything past December 10 is kind of insane to try and get anything done. So usually at that point in time, we'll do our top 10s for the year and wrap up, and then I'll be releasing these episodes to finish out the year as we go through things. So before we get out of here, details as always at the bottom of the screen. Like, follow, subscribe. It's important to follow us on Discord and Patreon in particular, because the point of this is going to be that go to thehardrockshow.com because what we're doing for November on TV land side of things is going to be doing a by request episode. So if you join up to either of those platforms, don't have to pay, just join in for free, and then you can get involved in the conversation there as we go through things. But yeah, this was 3 interesting albums from Aerosmith, 3 popular ones, 3 well-loved ones. Let us know your thoughts out there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, this is a sneak peek of what's coming up over the Christmas break coming up this year in 2025. But that'll do it for now. Next week, if everything goes to plan, we're back with hopefully a guest, if I can make things work out while I'm on break. I'll see how I go. But either way, we're back next week with another actual live stream. Apologies again for a pre-recorded one tonight, but hopefully you enjoyed the show anyway. As always, give us your thoughts. We'll see you all again soon. On behalf of us all here at the show, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, as always, drink up, rock on.